Recording is on. Last week we looked at Ivan's Gambit. Today we are going to look at one more exciting opening called as Goering Gambit. Actually, I think it is not Go. I guess there is a spelling mistake. Goering, I think. And it is spelled or it is pronounced as Goering Gambit, I hear. I used to call it as Goering Gambit, but I think it is Goering Gambit. And we are going to look at that also. Okay, and it is again a very instructive way to play, and there are some good master games that you can check. So let us get started without much ado. What is the idea behind the Goering Gambit? It is like Scotch game. Okay, e4, e5, nf3, nc6, and white wants to immediately decide in the center, so that is why he plays d4. Now after this is the Scotch game. Okay, if black normally has to take it, we saw that if black does not take it, he can get into disadvantage. So black has to take it, and after taking it, now there are two options, three options in fact. You can take back with your knight, and that is called as the Scotch game, right? You are immediately exchanging the pawn and you are getting rid. And then black has multiple options. Black can exchange the knight, or black can play knight f6, or black can play bishop c5, or black can play bishop b4 also sometimes, but it is not that great. So bishop bc5 is better. Yeah, Aidan, what is your question? You can type on the chat. So this is one option for white. Okay, alternatively he can play the Scotch Gambit by playing bishop to c4. Okay, that I think we had seen it in level 2 Scotch Gambit. We had seen it, and the idea is that, okay, don't capture the pawn immediately, but go for the attack using whatever. Next move is castle, maybe get your king, and then push the pawn to e5 and then attack, right? So that is the thing. Okay, what is the thing? Aidan, I have allowed you to unmute. What is your question?
So I typed it, sir.
Sorry?
I typed it on chat.
Oh, you have typed it. What is that? Why don't you become a coach on Lichess? No, I am not interested in Lichess because it will take too much time. See, I am this chess coaching I am doing only as like in my spare time. I have a full-time job in software industry and it is very taxing, but I'm managing this because I love it. So I just like a little bit of a distraction, and then for me to relax, that is how I do it. But I can't do it more. Lichess, if I do it, then too many people will come and then I can't manage it. So yeah, maybe after I retire, yeah, let me see.
So I am going to become a patron on my birthday.
Okay, that is good. Very good. When is your birthday?
So October 22nd.
Okay, excellent. Then we will see you with the wings on then, huh?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so coming back here, then what is the other option for white? Other option is actually sacrificing a pawn directly this way, c3, and now black has got, really white is saying that if you don't take my pawn, then thank you, then I will take your pawn and I will have a very big center, right? So that is what is white saying. So effectively white forces black to take this. Okay, so and then white takes with knight c3. Now white has lost 2 pawns, black has lost 1 pawn, but white is ahead in development because white has got a central pawn and 2 pieces have got developed. Queen has got his path to b3. So remember, this queen many times goes here and then attacks along this diagonal, along with the bishop also being here. So this kind of an attack comes. So white is speculatively sacrificed a pawn, and it is like this one, right? So that is what is the thing. So we'll see this with some games, example games. Okay, Ara, what is your question? I have allowed you to unmute.
Sir, yeah, it was that now with this move, white has the control in the central squares.
Yeah, but only partially. He does not have 2 pawns. He has got 1 pawn, and using this he has got control. But this is not equally tried because this is what you call this square. is controlled
yeah.
by this knight also, right? And then black will want to play, if possible, black will want to first develop the bishop and then play d6, so that he will want to support this e5 square, right? So that is what it will be. But yes, white has got slight advantage in the center, but not the big center that you will have with e4 and d4, right? Yeah. Okay. So that
I
will-
want to
I
ask you
said got
something.
control on d4, d5.
Sir, I want to ask.
yeah, go ahead.
Sir, if you told that the queen and the bishop has the power to on that pawn, right?
Yeah.
Sir, why not if the queen comes at that place, why
Yeah.
not why can't the knight play to a5?
Yeah, the black can play the knight to a5. It is always a possibility. So white has to see whether he can do it without allowing knight. So it is always a balance thing. Okay, it is not that white will simply come there. Yes, many times this is the pattern for black to defend, is put the knight to a5 so that bishop and queen are there. Both of them are attacked. So you will have to defend the queen, and then the bishop can be exchanged. Only thing is that sometimes what white will do is white will sacrifice the bishop here, and then king cannot take it yet. King has to move, and then white will move the queen, so that if king takes the bishop, then white will take the queen. But one pawn would be gone, and the king would have moved castling. So there are possibilities. You just have to think. All of these are possible. You have to see it actually what is possible on the board. You have to calculate, right? But all of these are right. These are the things that can happen typically.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
So bishop to b4 is good, right?
Bishop to b4 is good when the knight is here. It is good, but you have to. That's why I mean, most of that. If the knight is on c3, then generally it is good. Bishop to b4. Okay. So hold on. So now let us see some. See what happens is, now let us see this. We have seen it, right? Queen b3. Sometimes the knight can land on g5. That is also an idea, right? Knight to see. These are all ideas. Okay. Knight after queen comes to here. Queen comes to here and bishop goes here, and then there are ideas like this knight can jump to e5, or this knight can go to g5 and then attack this or attack this, etc. These are the attacking ideas. See, it is not that exactly you do it like this and then you are winning it. No, it is also that we just look at, these are the general ideas, and then we look at some example games that will help you to get this idea. Okay, I mean, what type of a play is possible, right? Now black can, yeah, sorry,
So
yeah.
white plays a3, then would it be better to take the knight or to move back?
White plays a3, then it is an equal kind of thing. Sometimes it is better to take it, sometimes it is depending on that. So it is not so easy. Many times it is better to take the knight, because that's the whole idea. Then you don't miss the move. Otherwise, sometimes it is better to come back to e7. So it is possible.
So, and in that particular position?
No, I'm not going to. So hold on. I think you are getting carried away. We are just so let us look at this opening first. Okay. Now, what are the ways that black can decline the thing? It is not always that black has to take it, right? So there is also a way to decline the gambit by playing. See, white plays c3, then black can play d5 immediately. Okay. So this is the way to decline actually. And then what if white takes it, then black saying, okay, good, you have taken my pawn, but now I have taken your pawn. And then whatever, even if queen moves here, black gets very good development, right? Black gets very good development. So there is a way to, let us see, if black plays d5, essentially black is saying that, oh, I'm not interested in taking your pawn, free pawn. I'm interested in development. Then normally what white will do is e d5, queen d5, c d4, bg4, right? So e d5 and then queen d5, c d4, right? And then see, black can get very good. See, black is not interested in grabbing a pawn, but black has got very good development, right? Now black is the one who is actually having a slight more initiative, and he is ready to castle queen side, getting
Sir,
his book
who's
into
black
play.
and who's white?
No, it is not that. It is not some
Sir?
game. I'm just showing you what are the possibilities. I'm just discussing. Yeah.
I've heard there is queenside castling.
Yeah, there is a queenside castling, right? All of you learned
Why
it.
can't I ever use it on leeches?
Yeah. Both in right.
Wait. I think somebody. Okay, so queenside castling, depending on, you should not, if you follow the rules of the castling, then it will allow you. There is nothing, no reason. I'm getting too much noise.
Yeah?
I'm going to mute. Wait. I'm going to
ये
mute.
भी मैंने उस पैकेट उस
Folks, there was too much noise. I have muted everybody. Okay. So, see, this is where now you have to type only. Okay, on the chat. So this kind of a game, it is possible. See, bishop to g4, bishop to e2, bishop b4, knight c3, bishop f3, bishop f3, queen c4. See, black can get very good development. Black can, even before castling, black can put this check also, and then knight will come here, and then what do you do? I mean, it is there. Knight to c3, then you can even, yeah, he's exchanging the queens here, and then I mean, you can castle queenside here now itself, or white does this and then plays this. So he's threatening the c3 now, right? Threatening c3. So you will have to play d. You cannot play bishop to d4 because then the pawn will fall. So what do you do? So I mean, it is equal kind of a thing. So queen c4, forcing white to exchange the queens or forego castling by bishop to e3. So there are things like that. So queen b3, a b3, yeah. So lot of things. I mean, here black wants to defend. He can play like this, right? And and he will lose a pawn if he plays bishop e3. What will happen? Or forego castling by bishop e3. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, here what white will do is either he will play king to e2 most likely, or he can play king to f1, right? And the idea what white is saying is that again he has sacrificed a pawn, but he will attack the queen, and then there will be, even if queen moves, there will be an attack on the knight, and then he can also get this kind of a fork going, etc. So there are ways of playing. The other way of playing it is white can play queen to b3 here, now forcing black to take it, right? Queen b3, a b3, and then if knight d4 happens, then what? Now knight, if knight takes d4, then what happens? Knight g to e7, or bishop takes c6. Yeah, a lot of things are possible. Bishop can take on c6 also, right? So these are all, I mean, these are all the possible. But here I don't know why you will not play this. You will play this, right? Yeah, because even if you castle, then it will be he will take it like this. So I don't know. I think this looks a bit wrong. So, but better possibility is bishop takes c6, and then queen has to take c6, and then you can come here. So yeah, you can type your questions. So okay, who has raised the hand? Let me see. I am first going to give the chance to Vihan. Vihan?
So, can you go back a little, like
Okay.
where you showed the bishop checks the king?
Okay, all right.
I mean, the queen checks the king, and like,
No, after this, right?
yeah, but where the queen checks the king.
Queen checks the king. I think that was a different path. I think that was.
Yeah. I have a question on that one. If the queen checks the king.
Wait, let me see where it was.
I think you did it like a bit before you went to this path.
I think bishop e3. Yeah, here I think it was. Yeah, here.
Yeah. So why can't the bishop block?
Oh, bishop, if you block it, then you can simply take this pawn. So that
Or
is,
maybe you can take the rook.
no, you can't take the rook. Queen is supporting it, right? So you can't take the rook.
Okay.
Queen is supporting it. So, yeah. So anyway, I think what okay, let me see who else had some question. I think the best is okay. Vihan is done. Okay, Aditya. I've allowed you to.
I was also having the same question which Vihan had, so
Okay. All right. Amojini.
Yes, sir. Uncle, like before when the white queen was in front of the white king, like
Okay.
yeah, one.
Not here. I
Like
think
the last move it was. Yeah, this move, like doing this, like I do it mostly, and whoever plays mostly does this. Is this a good move?
it is an okay move depending on what it is. So many times it is quite a good move, because if the king has not castled, now especially for example if knight puts like this, right, it is very good for you to play this way, because now king cannot castle. If king castles, then the knight will fall, right? So depending on that, so it is many times it is good.
no, sir, the bishop is defending it, so the queen will never not castle.
Yeah, okay, so it is but yeah, I mean, how long will your bishop also this one? So I think yeah, sometimes then this knight will also jump, right? I mean, it is, so it depends. I'm not saying immediately, but it is a good move. There is nothing wrong with it. So okay, I think but too many, wait, I think just hold on. What I want to do is I want to show you one game. After that we will see all the questions. Okay, so because otherwise we will not progress. And I have given this so you can play through this yourself. Okay, but most of what is the best way for black to play is accept it, d takes c3, knight takes c3, and then play d6. You can also play bishop to b4, which is, somebody was asking, is it good? Yeah, it is good. There is nothing this one. And then white plays bishop c4, knight to f6. So this kind of a thing is it. So let's go back. I think if black, what we saw is black does not accept the thing, but if black does accept it, then the best way to play is d takes c3, knight takes c3, and then d6, because you want to prevent this pawn from coming to e5. And then next move you will play, so probably you will play bishop to c4, and then you will play bishop to knight to f6, right? I think that is what it was mentioning, bishop to c4, knight f6, and then queen b3, queen d7. Yeah, something like this. So now if queen b3, then queen comes to d7 to support this. Okay, why does queen come to? Because he wants to put this e7 squares, he wants to keep it for the bishop so that the king can castle. So that is why queen comes to d7 and not to e7. Okay, so this way it can possible. And then knight to g5, knight to e5. Yeah, this is one maneuver you need to know. Now there is already double attack on this and double defense. And what if the knight comes here and starts attacking this again a third time? Then the one of the active defense that you have got is knight coming to e5. Now it is attacking this also as well as defending this also, right? So this one move that you have to remember, that this is possible. Sometimes it doesn't occur to you, but it is possible. So this is the way. And in this position, knight to g5, knight e5, then white can play bishop b5 and c6, f4. Yeah, a lot of things are possible. So here then what white will threaten this, so forcing black to play c6, and then instead of taking the defending the bishop, white can play f4. So this is like an attacking alternative. So if you take it, then I will take this one, and then I will open up the f file, and then I will castle and then attack along the f file. So like this, there are ideas for white, and there are ideas for black also. Okay, both ways. It is not that one side is winning, one side is losing. No, it is an equal game. Both sides have different ideas, and that is what is the beauty of the game. So so this is one I have shown. Okay, and so there are some more moves also, some alternatives. You can go through this, and these are all just the possibilities. So best way to do this is actually have a tournament. So probably I will set up a tournament tomorrow where the starting position will be the Gering Gambit, and then you can play various games from white and black side. But before that, or maybe not tomorrow, maybe next week, because it is important that you first look at some games and get some idea from master game. That is the best way. I suggest any opening, look at some miniature master games, which are like 20 moves, 25 moves where they have won it, because that is where the idea will be very, very nicely demonstrated, that what kind of an attack is there, and if you don't defend against it, what can happen from both white side and black side. So I suggest these miniature games from masters in any opening, or some interesting videos like in the library, that you watch it, you will get a very good idea of how the typical play happens. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this one game, Staunton's game, and this is there in the Gering Gambit. But before that, let me see what is the main question. Who has got a question? Who? Please raise your hand if you have got a question right now. Okay, I'm allowing Arav.
Yeah, sir, in that, can you go to the position which Amudini put? That position, can you please go there?
I don't think we are looking at that position very, very deeply, but where is that? I think, let me see. Yeah, I think here it is. Yeah, what is the question here? Oh, you muted by mistake. But I have already allowed you to, so you should be able to unmute. No? Okay, I have allowed you to unmute again.
Yeah, sir, in this position, like after when it does the castling, no, after the knight to in front of the queen to avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it is castling, when the white is castling, that time white has also can develop his knight now.
Yeah, white, because knight is now no longer pinned, so that is an idea, right? And the bishop will also move. So yeah, that is the whole idea. So by castling, white has not only allowed the knight to be moved, but black can decide whether to take it here. Right? He can what do you call? He can decide to go for a pawn, but it might be dangerous. It might be dangerous. Okay, so it is always what things can happen. Something is like this. It can happen. Okay, so then now this is being threatened, and if you defend it, then it can get into further more attack. So what if black goes something like this to defend it? Then white can perennially, now this is called as a perennial pin, because now black is going to find it very difficult to think. Okay, maybe he can do f6. Okay, but something like that, it will become an ugly position for black. Otherwise, he will be struggling to defend it in return for a pawn. And then even then, white can still continue to attack. So white can continue to attack. Yeah, rook under the queen, correct. I mean, even here it is like this. So a lot of ways in which white can keep furthering the attack. So that's why, I mean, it is equal. See, you lose something, but then you should be able to get something other. You should be able to, if you can give up a pawn for attack, and that is what can happen. So okay, so I think it is a lot of time we have spent it. How much is the thing? We have reached 7:42. So let us look at a game. Okay, let us look at this game, and this will give you a pretty good idea. Staunton versus some amateur. Okay, so e4, e5, nf3, nc6, d4, ed4, c3, d3, knight to d4. Okay, so where this is a clever way of declining the gambit is when you play c3, right? Black does not want to play d5, but black also does not want to take the pawn on c3. So black plays d3. Okay, so this is a clever move, because if bishop takes d3, right, or queen takes d3, both cases, it is kind of not the ideal position for white, because ideally white will want both queen and bishop to be on this b4 and b3 and c4, and getting here they lose time, and that's the idea of black. He wants white to lose time. So white plays knight to d4. Okay, so let us see what happens. Knight to d4, bishop c5, bishop e3, bishop b6. So black starts developing his pieces, white also develops, and because now this bishop can become dangerous here, because the knight can take this, right? And the threat is there. Knight can take c6, returning the queen, so you will have to take the knight, and then this bishop will fall. So that is why bishop drops back to safety. Okay, otherwise there is a tactic by which black will lose the bishop. So that is why black plays bishop to b6. Okay, then bishop takes d3, knight f6, f4, d6. Let us see how this happens. So this is Staunton, you know, the British champion who never faced Morphy, but he was a strong player, but somehow he was afraid of Morphy. So bishop takes d3, knight f6, and then white plays f4, and black plays d6. See, white is threatening. See how white is building the attack. Right, very nicely. Though black declined the gambit, but white is playing in an aggressive way and creating the attack. So we have to see this. This is instructive. Then h3, castle, castle, queen e7, queen f3. So h3, he does not want this bishop to come here and harass. And black plays castle, and white plays castle. And then what? Bishop to queen e7, queen f3. Okay. Black queen goes to here. So black queen is now threatening this pawn because there is a double attack on this pawn, and white defends it by going to queen f3. Right. So it's all in balance. It is happening. It doesn't look as if anybody has made a mistake, though white has got a slight advantage here. Right. Then rook e8, knight to d2, knight to d5. See, black piles up further on this, and white supports it by playing knight to d2. Okay, and then black plays a tactical move, knight to d5. Why is he sacrificing? Actually, he's not sacrificing, because if you take it, then queen will come here with a check, and then even after you take it and rook takes it, you think that, oh, I will be able to take this knight, I am a piece up. But no, your bishop on d3 is also hanging. Right, that's the whole idea. So it is like, no, Goring is Danish is even more speculative because you sacrifice 2 pawns. Jan is asking, is it like Danish? So Goring is like in between Goring gambit. So you sacrifice 1 pawn and still you get a lot of attack. So it can be a middle ground. But understand why the thing, it is like this pawn is pinned. That is why black is playing this. And black thinks that it will be an equal. Even if white takes it, queen will take it, I will take it with the queen, rook will take it, I will take the knight, white will take the knight, and rook will take the bishop and again attack this rook, this knight also. So that is what is white's black is thinking, that everything it will still be equal after this. Okay, so rook e8, knight d2, knight to d5. White plays bishop f2, and then knight goes back to f6. So that is why white puts this bishop back. So now the threat is real on this. Right, now you cannot, because now there is nothing there. So because of this, knight goes back. But at this position now what has happened is that white has got advantage now, because knight has exactly gone back to the same square from black's perspective. So it is like, but white, he has put the bishop here, and now e file is also open for and usage for the rook. So white has got a slight advantage now. We'll see now how Staunton takes this. See, immediately he brings the rook to a to e1, and now he forces. So now it is white who has got the advantage. And now black starts exchanging. So knight takes d4, knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, bishop d4, c d4, c5. Okay, so there is a bunch of exchanges that happen here, and black attacks this by saying c5. What black is hoping for is that white takes this pawn, then black takes this pawn, and it is kind of equal. Then it will be I don't know. I think still white has got an attack on the e file, but that is what is black is thinking. Okay, so far, see, like 14-15 moves, it is not that anybody has not made a blunder, right? So 16 moves, c5, e5 now. e5, d e5, f e5, knight d7. See, now is the attacks now the attack starts because white says, I'm not going to take your pawn. I'm going to harass you. I'm going to harass you. And I'm threatening to, even if you move the knight, I'm threatening then to take the pawn and then attack your queen. And then if your queen moves, then it is all. Morphy is American. Paul Morphy is American. Right? So Bhavin was asking from which country is Paul Morphy. So Paul Morphy was American. Okay, so you see this attack now. So powerful attack is going to happen now on the e file, and then knight to d7, and then yeah, no, first of all d e5, f e5, and then knight e7. So black takes it, white takes it. See again, even after taking this, white has got still attack along this f file also. So knight goes to d7, and then white further pushes it. Right? Further pushes it. What now again it is? So f6, e6 black cannot take it, and but black does play this, and then it is already getting over f6, right? Now white plays queen to d5. I think he plays this, right? No, not even that. e6, f6, directly d5. yeah, not even queen d5. Sorry, he plays. Yeah, very clever, because now he has got a passed pawns down here, right? Connected passed pawns. So he plays, rather than exchanging, he plays d5, and then knight plays e5. I guess knight plays e5 here, and then what does white play? Rook takes e5. Yeah, because it is well worth now having this. What is happening? Do you see what is happening? Why did white doing it? Because this check is coming. So this check is coming, and then queen takes f7, and now pawn takes f7. So now this is the fork, and now king, whatever, even if it goes here, then you are getting this rook, and king will take this. But now this is already a you are one piece up, right? You can even take this. So it is white should be winning this, right? One extra minor piece. So this is a good illustrative game by this one, by Howard Staunton. Okay, there is one more game we'll probably look at. What we'll do is we'll take a small break and we will rejoin today. Okay, I want to discuss some more positions. So it is the this session is supposed to end in 2-3 minutes. So you saw this, right? But this was a very interesting game, right? I think after this, you saw how the attack developed. So after this, actually, it was very nice. From this point onwards, it is the attack is this one. So the same. So the link to rejoin is the same Zoom link. There is no, the link does not change. So everyone has to join the same Zoom link. So from this point, I think the attack became very, very nice. See, this was something that e6 is something that black missed. Okay, and then even after we played not this, queen to d5 was the primary promoter. Yeah, d5. So this was a very powerful position, and after this it was a very simple sacrifice worked for white, right? So like this, there are many attacking ideas. You saw one of the ideas. So, but you should see some 5-10 games of masters, and then you get an idea. Oh, what is possible? What is not possible? I am going to unmute now. In fact, I'm going to unmute everyone, but we are going to end the class and rejoin. Okay, so yeah, I have allowed everyone to unmute, but please only 1 or 2 please speak. After that, we will join back.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, no, can you go before this? Can you go before this? Before this move? No, yeah, no, before this. Sorry, after. Yeah. In this move, your pawn front, like, now what did black move?
Black played f6.
Yeah. White could have captured the knight there and there.
Yeah,
right?
white could have captured the knight also here itself. Okay, but then the what do you call? What would happen is it is, yeah, this is also good because you are one piece up. Only thing is that what white thought is that I am a one piece up plus my strategy is that I want to exchange out the queen and the knight, and then it is getting to the end game, and it is even better, right? In the end game, if I am one piece up, it is better rather than better in middle game. That is why white played d5 here. Okay, and
Okay.
he knew that after this also it is going to become very difficult for black. Okay, fine. So I think we are ending it now.
Okay.
Bye, sir.
Can I say my doubt when I join back?
We will, yeah, join back. We'll join back and